right than we've seen. So that is some of that typical Long Beach that you were talking about, Tucker.
Cleared a lot today. You can see Catalina out there in the distance. One of these years, I'm going to get us to host a Catalina Island golf tournament. I think that'd be a fun Congressional Cup edition, right?
Yeah.
Get all these sailors out there the week before.
61st edition.
There we go, maybe.
You know, the World Match Racing Tour used to do that way back in the dinosaur age when I used to sail. They would have a lay day, some of these big regattas, and all the sailors would play golf.
Yeah, I think we used to have
We're dropping a hint to the organizers of the next Congressional Cup.
I think at least one year we had a golf tournament.
A lay day, midweek golf tournament for the Congressional Cup. And we could do the announcing.
Yeah.
I think we are on hole 16. This looks like it's going to be a tough putt. All right. That used up enough time for the dial-up to be over. And we're back in the match. 2 minutes 23 to go. Breault has accelerated on board into the playground here. Tapper follows. Likely to head all the way down to the corner of the pier. Thanks, Marilyn. She's getting her steps in today with the VHF radio. A little bit new breeze coming straight down the middle of the track. Might have a little bit of left-hand angle in it. Fantastic conditions this second day of the Congressional Cup. Minute 45 to go. Both boats off to the right of the pier, and we've lost him. It's Breault leading Tapper.
Well, just at the end of the pier, rolling into a jive now. And Tapper following with attack. It looks like he'll follow back.
Minute 23.
Both boats staying a little bit high as they come back into your view. I think realizing with this increased wind strength that there might be a little bit of time to kill.
Thank you, Marilyn. Just surrounding the pier there, Breault leading. Tapper pretty aggressive. Already going in for a little bit of a bite there. Now he swings back up, hitting the bows, going in opposite directions. A minute to go from the single boat as Tapper goes in for another hook. Quite aggressive to push Breault into the start box and down the line and let the clock run out. Breault trying to keep clear. Right now the bowman on Tapper's boat signaling yes, plenty of room to swing. No overlap yet. Umpires in position if there is. 33 seconds to go. Breault's just got a few more seconds to kill to get a start out of this to leeward of Tapper, who heads for the line now. 20 seconds. Gauge closing from Tapper to windward there. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Tapper luff up to take a bit of gauge there, maybe even roll into it. Attack as he does, a split. With 5 seconds to go, it's going to be Nicole Breault on starboard to the left at the pin. Tapper on port to the right at the boat. Here we go.
And Nicole's really sailing into a nice little bit of pressure coming down the left-hand side of the course. Wondering, though, I'm sure, is it a Long Beach condition that where things are going to increasingly head to the right?
And Breault tacks to stay with Tapper. I like the breeze on Brault's bow right now. She's got what looks like angle and pressure on port.
Yeah, absolutely. She has to be pretty happy with that. She has to be pretty happy with that start, especially against Tapper, who, as you said, has been so hot today.
Yeah, I almost would rather be Nicole right now. And that nice fade of pressure on port. And then Tapper there kind of set up below the oil island where it starts to get light and fluky, and he knows it. So he's got to tack on the starboard to stay with Breault, who might be in a strong position as these teams converge. Even if Nicole's not all the way across on port, I think she's bow forward and can start to dictate the race by lead bowing Tapper, if not possibly crossing it here. Let's see.
It looks pretty tight. I think it's probably a lead bound for Breault, though. If she can get across, she might take it, though, just wanting to have starboard advantage when the boats reconnect.
I think she's got it well clear. She does. Nicole Breault looking strong over Cole Tapper, nonetheless, as she'll tack on to starboard into a defensive position, protecting the right of her opponent. Tapper rolls immediately into attack to get out of phase with her. And I think that upper right is going to be the next place you'd want to cover, so you don't want Tapper to go too far that way, and she rolls into attack to stay with him. It's game on in that match with Breault out in the lead. Meanwhile, the dial up in start number 2 of this 9th flight, Hood and Hansen. Hood's on your left. He's already tacked on to port. Hansen has not. Hood looking to get over his bow. Hansen will fall onto port below him as a lured boat. Nice move, Dave Hood. I was watching the first match and didn't see exactly how that happened, but nonetheless, Hood's pretty happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the pace he has as he's heading over towards the corner of the pier, and I pick up my radio.
Dave Hood leading back to the pier, hoping to be the first racer outside of Chris Poole to 7 wins here after the first round robin. Hood and his team have been sailing great. You can tell the experience they've got on those boats, and really you can tell all of the international sailing Dave's been doing over the last couple of years. It's really, he's grown so much as a skipper. A great representation of Long Beach Yacht Club. We're all proud to have him out there for us.
Coming up on 2 minutes, the boats go off to the other side of the pier where Marilyn Cassidy is.
And Hood's just at the end of the pier. Continuing on right now, they really do have a little bit of time left to kill, I think.
With 1:50 to go.
Just rolling into a jibe from Hood below the pier. And it looks like Hansen is going to jibe in front of him, looking for the opportunity to lead back. But still below the pier, and below the pier exclusion line, too. Hansen is left up here, but should be re-entering your view in just a moment.
Really a big match here for both racers. Dave Hood hoping to get a little bit Hansen. A minute to go, Tucker.
Strong to lead in. And both of these teams know it. Hansen has the lead right now, and Hood likely to start going for a dig, looking for a hook, getting the bows out of sync as he goes down, looking for Hansen's transom. Boundman signaling, yes, you can swing. So no overlap yet. With 33 seconds to go, Hansen looking good. He's got plenty of time to get to the pin, and Hood knows it. Hood has got to push the game towards the line to get a start out of this. So Hood's got his foot on the gas pedal, 22 seconds to go. Hood just might have opened the door there for Hansen. Hansen's done a beautiful job here, just giving Hood very little options. Even if Hood tacks away, he doesn't have room to build speed because of the signal boat there. 5 seconds to go. He's tight to windward of his opponent. Hansen's bow forward. Crew sitting on the rail already. There's the gun. Beautiful start for the Swedes.
Really
and
lovely.
Hood has to tack.
Yeah, Hood has to tack away, and Hansen knew he wanted to lead back from the beginning, even though we have seen an increase in the velocity. He was definitely executing a playbook that he and his team have practiced.
And quite well, as he tacks to stay on top of Hood. Both boats racing to the right. Meanwhile, downwind, that's Breault in the light blue spinnaker. And Tapper, it's tough to tell from here. I think Brault's ahead. She rounded ahead, did she? Fantastic. And this is not surprising, you know, with Nicole in her first Con Cup. Halfway through day number 2, the team is starting to figure these boats out. The racing is getting closer, and now, as I mentioned this morning, if she sees a moment, she's only one move away from getting into the lead, and there it is. She heads Tapper downwind.
Absolutely, and I think we're also seeing a little bit of her San Francisco come out as we see the breeze increase. This might be a condition that Nicole's more comfortable with. Excellent
point there. As we headed back into the pre-start, it's Wickwire again. From Canada on starboard, Rocco Attili from Italy on port. It's the battle between strong coffee and maple syrup. Into the dial-up. Oh, yep, good point there. Look at the light blue spinnaker upwind. Tapper is affecting the Brault spinnaker as they try to get to the leeward gates ahead and inside, but Tapper is rolling her. Now, can he break the overlap and get into the zone first? Or can Nicole hang on to a very thin lead? Tough to tell from here, but her spinnaker is collapsing, and that is not good. Does she have rights inside? Well, she's going to say she does. Now, this is going to be big. Nope. Cole Tapper's got it. And she'll round out just because she's still got her bow inside there. We could see some penalties. The crew is out of sync for sure. The jib's not in. The kite's still struggling to get put away. And that's just so much cleaner for Cole Tapper there. Who just sailed around her to the outside. I don't see any penalty flag, so a solid lead change. There's the flag. It's green. All clear for Cole Tapper. Maybe I jinxed her.
I think that was my fault. It looked like that douse, the kite got away from them a little bit, and could have been this bigger breeze, a little billowier than some of our prior races.
Billowier. That is a first. 23 years I've never heard billowier. Yeah, all the way out to the very far right. Hood still trying to catch Hansen. And here in the pre-start, how much time do we have? Minute 55 to go. As Wickwire leads Attili off to the right of the pier.
No doubt things will happen down there.
I noticed you haven't moved this time.
So I can tell you guys what's happening. We've got two boats in the water. They're near the pier, and they're sailing. And I see the number 6 boat coming back at us first.
So that'll be Attili. Looks like he's leading back.
Okay, they're coming back sooner, so we're not as locked out. Tomorrow we'll be live on YouTube, and we will have footage to the right of the pier, so we won't get locked out visually when we're in the pre-start. Coming up on 1 minute as Attili leads Wickwire. Wickwire's definitely got a hook down there. Can he close gauge? Nope. I think Attili's just broken it, the overlap there.
But Attili does have an awful lot of time to kill with a close potential overlap situation developing.
Oh, yeah, Wickwire's just got his bow right in there, and now Attili's in big trouble. You can hear the yelling going on from here. A flag,
I see some flags.
And a luff. Another luff there from Wickwire. Green was that one. No penalty yet, but 40 seconds to go. Attili's got no more room. He's going to run out of time, and he knows it. He hits the brakes. Hard spin for Wickwire to windward. Hits the brakes. Aggressive in these final 30 seconds here. We still got 25 to go. Wickwire to windward. No penalty yet. Attili did what he had to do. Now he's going to have the left. Both boats slow down. It's going to be a split tack start likely. Wickwire slowly tacking onto port. There's the split. Both boats very close to the line. Attili's going to have to put his bow down. Wickwire's going to have a nice thin build and likely attack at the single boat end. Here comes the gun.
Really nice timing from Attili there in terms of getting the action to the center of the line without letting Wickwire push him all the way to the pin and use up that runway.
Who's out in the lead? Top of the course there.
Looks like Hansen continues to lead Hood with that Club 100 spinnaker just in front of the Long Beach Sailing Foundation.
And Tapper.
But it's clearly very close. And that's Tapper just leading Breault around the top mark. The grand spinnaker is Cole Tapper and Nicole Breault in the Cabrillo Boat Shop.
All of these matches getting closer. Still flat water, good breeze. This is perfect Catalina 37 conditions. Not enough to be overpowered, but just enough to push these boats as hard as you want. Fantastic for the spectators here at the Belmont Pier. We'll be here all weekend. Tell your friends to come down. I hear it's going to be, Randy Smith, the PRO, tells us it's going to be breeze on this weekend. Where else would you rather be? Geretta on starboard, entering against Yanni Bernson on port. Start number 4, flight number 9.
I wonder if Bernson might have a downwind cross here. He's looking like he has a lot of pace as Geretta turns down to try to prevent, but we'll see.
Yep, good call. Bernson's got across very nicely. Geretta jives in behind, no dial-up.
Not exactly incognito in the orange, but still a really nice cross. Well-considered timing there.
coming up on 3 minutes to go.
And Zach has just returned with a burger that looks amazing.
Now we know where you've been, Zach.
It looks really good, dude.
Fair enough.
If you're here on the pier with us, there is food available downstairs at Buoys. There are also drinks available. You do not have to be a yacht club member to get in there. Anybody that's watching from the pier is welcome to go grab some food. Thanks to them for being open all week with great warm food options for us.
I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but they're left up just above the end of the pier here.
Yeah, that was a nice jibe by Bernson there. Got a piece of Attili on starboard and forced him to tack, and now both boats effectively are in a dial-up off to the far right side here. Bernson just holding back to the right, and we've got 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Geretta, sorry, thank you. Just letting the clock tick down. Pretty much nothing going on at this point. What I like, though, is Bernson's position. Being behind in that situation, if Geretta attacks, which he has, Bernson can set up his leeward boat there. If he goes back the other way, Bernson can lead in. Bernson, I just think he's in a good spot. And as soon as I say that, Geretta jives behind him. Now, is Bernson going to be able to spin a complete circle in there? Still stay inside the obstruction or exclusion zone and get onto starboard? Yes is the answer there. And still lead into the start. Coming up on 1 minute 20 seconds, still a little bit early. Quick update. Tapper just crossed the line and takes yet another bullet over Nicole Breault. It was a good match, though, and we should ask Nicole about that this afternoon in the press conference. All 10 skippers will be there, where we get to make fun of, ask them how it went during the day.
Up at the top, Mark, you see Peter Wickwire hoisting that American Integrated Services spinnaker, leading Rocco Attili.
Pretty comfortably.
The next match down the line is Dave Hood versus Bjorn Hansen.
Well, we still got Bernson and Geretta here, and sparks are flying. Geretta's going in for a hook. We've only got 40 seconds to go. Bernson's saying, no way. You can try and swing, but there's no overlap. And there isn't. And now Geretta's hooked solidly. Bernson has got him to leeward there.
Just 30 seconds and really quite close to the line. They have some time to kill here, don't they?
You do a sharp bluff, wouldn't you, right now, if you're Bernson? Maybe?
I'd have to be thinking about it, yeah. Especially knowing how close we are to the committee boat right now. Geretta's going to feel pretty uncomfortable in this position in terms of salvaging a start.
Jib down luff. I like that for Bernson as he just slides head to wind forward, and Geretta's in a big spot. Now, Geretta thinks that Bernson is tacked on to port, or is tacking, but there's no foul from the umpires. There's the gun. Big trouble for the Italian team.
Really uncomfortable position to be in here if you're Geretta.
Well, you just can't go anywhere. And look at this. Even though the jib's up, Bernsson's going to stay there. It's just going to make it hurt even more. And as Geretta there tries to avoid, he's back in the jib, his bow person. And it looked like Bernson was going to bear off, but he's not. I think both teams are struggling to get steerage going here. We can see a big penalty. Oh, massive collision. Now that's going to be challenging. I'm not sure if both boats were in reverse, but I think Yanni Bernson may have been. He was falling off, and it's a yellow flag. Wow! Geretta gets the penalty. Even Geretta's putting his hand up saying, what happened there? Kirk Brown is out of his chair, and I can't wait to hear what happened there.
A clear astern boat needed to keep clear. Yellow needed to keep clear and failed to do that.
Okay, so Geretta was clear astern when the two teams hit. Clear ahead, clear astern. To my eye, and it just looked to me like actually Bernson may have backed into him a little bit as he was backing his jib. But
and in match racing, it's still the stern boat, even in a backing situation.
So Geretta was in reverse as well. Okay.
Yeah, no matter whether one was forward, one was backwards, whoever is clear astern is still the giveaway boat.
Ouch.
Yeah, big ouch.
I love it. We'll get that in the press conference. This is going to be a long press conference. We've got a lot to talk about today. So one more pre-start here, but let's just check in at the leeward mark. It's Peter Wickwire leading. He'll take the right-hand side over Attili, leaving Attili to the left. It's Hansen leading downwind over Hood. And then in this dial-up in the pre-start, is Poole and Mon. Mon to the right, well to the right. From Switzerland, Chris Poole, yet undefeated, to the left. And how's that three-way tie? Is it still going on?
Three-way tie is still a thing between Eric Monin, Dave Hood, and Cole Tapper. Although, I haven't refreshed my screen. Cole did win his last match. I think Cole's now at the 7-point.
Well, then Hood is losing this match here, so that could shake things up. And this is an important match for Eric Monin. Can he beat Chris Poole? That's going to be pretty hard. Welcome back, Zach. How was lunch?
Oh, lunch was amazing. That burger really hit the spot. That was awesome.
If someone's winning in Long Beach this week, I think Zach is.
I think Zach has. I know he was bummed to not make it through from the Ficker Cup, but he has filled in well here, done a great job.
I think he's smart not to make it through from the Ficker Cup. Let us know if there's anything we can do to make your stay here in Long Beach more enjoyable.
I think an entry into Congressional Cup would be pretty nice.
We'll talk to the powers that be for next weekend, right? Maybe get on the boats next weekend with us.
You are in the Congressional Cup, just in a slightly different way. And we appreciate you joining us. Zach, talk us through what's going on here. 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, thanks very much. So 2 minutes to go. So we have Mon leading out Poole into the play zone. We'll probably see him jibe here on the boundary here. So a reminder that if you go into the boundary, you'll get a penalty. So it's kind of like a little safe spot where they can start to play around and then kind of go really close to it, and the other boat cannot go in there. So Chris Poole has decided to not play Eric's game. He'll be tacking onto starboard now. It's all on Mon to get out of the way here. If he doesn't do everything he needs to and the umpire decides so, that could be a penalty on him.
And of course, if he crosses this exclusion zone, it won't be good either.
Exactly. So we're really playing on a nice edge here.
As Bjorn Hansen crosses the line, picking up a valuable point here over Dave Hood. Bjorn now with 5 wins on the week.
Yeah, Bjorn now with an outside shot at the top 4 for sure. We've got a whole other round robin to go, mind you. And just over a minute to go in this pre-start as Mon leading, fishtailing. Here comes Poole going on the attack rather. Which side do you like real quick upwind?
It's looking middle right, I think. So kind of like just up the middle, just looking to the right of the kind of red mark. I reckon that's a good spot. But it's really interesting watching this match in this pre-start here. Poole is doing these big arcing movements, trying to generate as much speed as possible, whereas Mon is doing these short little ones to try and get Poole just to overlap with him so he can do exactly what he's done here and take Poole back to the line. We've got 52 seconds left on the clock. Still got a bit of time to kill.
Well, I think, Poole could be in a little bit of trouble here. He's to the right, and if you're correct about the breeze, that's good for Poole. But Mon has done a really sharp bluff and is going to basically pinch him in between the Sigma boat and himself to leeward there. It's going to be 2 tacks for Poole. Did Mon let him go?
Yeah, interesting. I think Poole bailed out of that. So jibing the last 30 seconds is something that you generally don't want to do. Going for the tack back here. So he's going to try and come in with a lot of speed. He's done it at the last second, really. I wouldn't have waited any longer than that.
I don't know. And 5 seconds to go. Poole does 2 quick tacks, gets up to speed. Incredible. Shifts to the right of his opponent and gets what looked to be a difficult position into an amazing start.
Yeah, he really flipped the coin in that one. I thought he would be really stuffed there, but he's done really well, bailed out at the last possible moment and came through with a nice lower speed. So yeah, really well executed from Poole, and Mon maybe just not quite on him.
And he's going to get that right-hand breeze first. He's to windward of his opponent. He can live in that spot with that gauge, and he'll have starboard advantage.
Yeah, if Chris can live here, he'll be very happy.
And up top, we've got a train of spinnakers that Durant Construction design. That is the spinnaker of Yanni Bernson leading his match. Directly in tow behind him, Peter Wickwire leading his match. And behind them in Visit Long Beach, Rocco Attili trailing Wickwire. And in the Farmers and Merchants Bank, it's Ian Geretta trailing Yanni Bernson. So Geretta is a lot of traffic. Yanni sitting in a good spot here.
Yanni hasn't won a lot of matches, surprisingly. This will be interesting if he can hang on to this.
If anyone had a camera, now is the time to pump our sponsors. Check out this view of 4 boats coming downwind right behind one another. Now, what's that going to do for Peter Wickwire in the middle there? The boat right behind him is his competitor, and they're on their final downwind leg here, guys. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, it's really interesting here. It's actually a really bad scenario for the boats out in front because suddenly you don't have to punch through 1 boat's air. You've got to punch through 3 boats' air. So you see the first boat jibe there and everyone kind of follows. So in the orange there, Bernson, this is not a great position to be in. It's kind of like worst case scenario, but he's done well to try and avoid the fight that's going up, and we see a massive luff at the top here. So you can really see those 2 matches kind of start to separate again.
Bernson was lucky not to get overrun by that match going on just behind him because they both jibed with the Swedish team there. He's just kept his air clear, and that's given him a bit more of an advantage over Geretta. Meanwhile, Kirk's just informed us that Wickwire got a penalty. Remember, he was ahead. Is ahead. I'm not sure what it's for, but we'll find out shortly.
So they're on their last downwind leg here into the finish line. So is he going to have enough room here to force some room to make a penalty turn at the bottom? We saw that earlier, and it did not go well for Nicole Breault.
Yeah, see, the interesting thing here is even though Wickwire is a penalty down, he still has the inside on the other boat. So he's inside and on starboard. So if the outside boat here jives onto port, Wickwire will have the right of way. So all he needs to do is stay in touch with the other boat. He doesn't need to try and overtake them, just enough to prevent them from jibing. And the aim for him is to go into downwind jail, which means they want to sail really, really far past the pin end here, drop the spinnaker, put the jib up, and then try and clear the penalty on the way back.
So I think you guys do a lot of practicing maneuvers. Is this something you guys do? Do you practice 360s? I mean, that's an important part, clearing penalties, right?
Sort of. So it's not something that we want to get into the scenario, especially with these boats. We've learned that if you do a penalty turn, it's pretty much game over. So we did do a quick practice of one just to make sure our processes were down, but it's not something that we really want to be getting into, so hence something we don't practice all the time.
So ideally here, they are pretty much in downwind jail, right? So we want to, if you're Peter Wickwire, you want to force him past the mark and then try to do your turn?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is, will they get into zone? If they get into zone, then Wickwire has to give way to Attili. So Attili's throwing a jibe in here. Wickwire's following behind. We'll see how close it is. We'll see what the umpires have to say.
Looks like he's got it at this point pretty cleanly. And he just puts his bow down there, and of course, whoa. Two penalties for Wickwire, and he's behind.
There we go. So they must have got into the zone there, and when Attili jibed, he thought that Wickwire was in zone. So it's the first person that hits the zone, then turns on the rule. So it looks like Wickwire hit the zone, so Attili then put the jibe in there, and then suddenly he's inside boat, so it's all on Wickwire to get out of the way.
And was there contact maybe for that second yellow flag, maybe the backstay?
Possibly, but it doesn't need to be contact as well. So you just need to give the other boat enough room to get round the mark.
Wow. All right, we'll make some notes on that one for sure. This could be a record press conference this afternoon. Every single match has something to talk about. It is exciting. Day number 2, halfway through it in the Congressional Cup here. The end of the first round robin and into the second. 2 more matches left in play. And Tiana has joined us after a refreshing sleep and probably went downtown and went to the spa. You know, Zach's been here working really hard, and we had you guys on yesterday. You had such great chemistry, but you must have said something to her because she waited 3 hours to show up today.
Yeah, I think she needed some princess sleep this morning.
Yeah, sorry, I was just getting my beauty sleep, guys. Didn't want to hop out of bed until I had my full 8 hours. So apparently I had a very late night. Zach, how's it been so far today? Have we seen a bit of fun on the water?
We've seen lots of action. Yeah, it's been really interesting watching all these matches. Seems like everyone's starting to get dialed into these boats, and seems like there's been lots of action. Full races of match racing. So yesterday seemed like a bit of fleet stuff going on. Today it's just all action.
That's awesome. I'm sad that I missed it.
If I do the math, that would put your 8 hours. That would put you to sleep at around 6 a.m.
That's correct. Me and Second Street have a very special relationship, and I met some very interesting characters last night.
Welcome to America.